The weird side effect I got from going to the high-fat carnivore diet. Weird things are afoot. Or should I say ahead? What's shaking, bacon? My name is Bruno Panucci. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you find this video informative or interesting, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. So let's get into the topic today. So I've lost 150 pounds doing this carnivore diet. Now I have plateaued at around 320. Now around that time, I have been doing some weight training and some HIIT workouts. And I also just finished a 3-month challenge. So I've been doing this carnivore diet consistently for over a year and a half, intermittently for years before that, and also low carb intermittently years before that. So I was yo-yoing up and down with my weight for a long time. But I've been doing these little challenges the last year and a half, and I've been consistent doing one form of carnivore or the other, switching from, say, the lion diet, which is ruminant animals. So I mainly stick with beef because it's just a lot easier for me to get access to. And I get my beef typically grass-fed, antibiotic-free, hormone-free. But just to save money sometimes, I go and I buy ground beef from the regular grocery store whenever I see it on sale. Now that might change in the future. I've been having all sorts of foods doing this carnivore diet. So I believe I always feel the best when I do a lion diet. But the reason why I'm not doing it consistently is I also like cheese. I also like bacon. I also like pork in general. I like fish. I like all sorts of different foods that fall under the category of the carnivore diet, just not the lion diet. So I go back and forth between the carnivore diet and the lion diet, back and forth, back and forth. And these workout routines I've been doing along with the carnivore diet or the lion diet, they've been a variety of different weight routines as well as HIIT workouts. I did one program for 4 months where it was like a HIIT workout, but with weights. I just finished a 3-month challenge a couple weeks ago. And this 3-month challenge was interesting. I was doing a lion diet for 3 months. I was doing weight training and HIIT workouts for that 3 months. Now, about 2 weeks into it, I switched to a higher fat lion diet. So I went to 80-20, 80% fat, 20% protein. And I was doing that mainly with ground beef from the grocery store. I know everyone's going to be thinking, okay, we see where this is going. That's probably not the wiser choice. I'm going to see later on down the line, if I do a challenge like that again, if it makes a difference between grass-fed, antibiotic-free, hormone-free beef and this regular grocery store beef I've been getting. But anyway, that's for the future. Right now, we're going to talk about what's happened. So in that window of time I was doing that, I went from 4 pounds of meat a day, which might seem like a lot to you, but just trust me, it's not a lot for me. That was lean ground beef. So that was about 4,000 calories of lean ground beef. In Canada, lean ground beef is our middle grade of ground beef. We have regular, lean, and extra lean. So I was doing that. And then about 2 weeks into it, I switched to a regular ground beef, which was an 80-20. The interesting thing was I noticed after about another 2 weeks of maybe 2.5 weeks of doing this 80-20 regular ground beef, I couldn't eat 4 pounds anymore. I found it really difficult sometimes to get 3 pounds down, and that was even with my working out. So I thought, finally, I've lowered my appetite because I once used to be at about 6 pounds of meat a day. The leaner I ate, say, filet mignon or tenderloin, I found I could eat a lot of that. I could eat 5 pounds in one sitting. Yeah, I know that's crazy, right? But the reality is it just wasn't as filling. But if I had something fattier, say ribs, or a higher fat ground beef, I just couldn't eat as much. So it was nice. The goal of that was to try and lower my appetite. The other goal of that was to switch to a higher fat, lower protein diet. And I felt great. So that 2.5 to 3 weeks, honestly, is probably closer to 3 weeks. I slept like a baby. It was awesome. I felt really good. Now, my waist kind of went down a little bit, so I thought I'd go check the scale, and it went up 22 pounds. And I was really surprised because normally that would reflect in the waist a little bit, but it didn't at all. I lost a little bit. My pants were a little looser around my waist. Here's the weird thing. I noticed, and I wasn't sure if this was related, I started getting these wrinkles right on the top of my head, right here. These wrinkles were going this way, right? So from the side, the wrinkles, it was almost like you did this to your scalp. Now, it wasn't at the crown and it wasn't near the front. It was right here. So I thought, okay, that's interesting. I wonder if I've been wearing my CPAP mask too tight for too long. Now, I use a CPAP mask. I probably don't need a CPAP mask, but I haven't gone in for a test because of COVID to see if I need it or not. So I just use it anyway. It's not a big deal. I find it very comfortable to use. It doesn't bother me at all. I only sleep on my back anyhow. I thought, that's really weird. I've never noticed that before. And I would feel it all the time. And I'd run my fingers back and forth, and there were noticeable grooves. So I thought that was weird, and I Googled it. So I came across a condition that seems to fit the problem I'm having. So I also researched it more in my pathology book. And there's a good chance this is what I have. It's cutis verticus gyrata. And what that is like folds in the skin. The skin starts to build tissue up in the scalp, and the skin starts to get these ridges. The interesting thing is I've seen people with this through the years, between TV shows, movies, and a couple people I've known through the years, and quite honestly, a few clients. I noticed that, and I thought, oh, that's interesting, because it's not painful at all. It happened about, a month into my 3-month challenge. And I noticed, I was like, great, well, here we go. I actually got a new condition. I've been getting rid of all these conditions, doing a carnivore and lion diet, like all these very serious conditions. Now, all these health conditions I had through the years have been getting better since I started carnivore. And most of them started getting better in the first few months of doing carnivore. My heart rate, my blood pressure, my waistline, my blood sugar, my triglycerides are better. My good cholesterol is better. My joint stiffness has gone away. My gout isn't bothering me nearly as much. It's pretty much a thing of the past. I still take medication for it, but it's pretty much a thing of the past. Most of these health problems have gone away almost completely, or they're much better. So I'm on a weaker dose of thyroid medication, and I'm on a weaker dose of allopurinol for my gout. So I'm just not ready to go off of it yet. I'm kind of weaning myself down on that safely, because I did get kidney stones from my gout before. So back to the CVG, this is a condition that all of a sudden I started getting out of nowhere. I didn't know if it was just my CPAP mask, and maybe the mask was maybe a little too tight, like the headband part of it, and it was pushing my scalp together, and maybe that was the cause of this after hours and hours of that at night. And then maybe I was just causing a bit of a scalp deformity, or if it was something else. So either way, I noticed it for the last 2 of the 3 months I did that way of eating, the high fat 3 pounds a day. I thought, when this is done, I'm going to go back and do 4 pounds of regular ground beef, because regular ground beef just makes me feel better. The higher fat diet makes me feel better. And I felt the best doing 4 pounds. Now, the side effect from that is I might put weight on for a while doing that. So I'm prepared to give that a shot for a while and trust the system, but only to a certain point. I mean, I have had a heart attack before, so part of the goal I'm doing here is to lose weight. So I'm going to see how that goes. So in the last 2 weeks, I've been going back to bacon, lean ground beef, wings, and I've been having all these different foods on this carnivore diet that I'm allowed to have: cheese, mortadella, capicolo, all these awesome cured deli meats. And just this morning, I was lying in bed and I touched that area where I had these wrinkles, and I noticed it's down by about 75%. So this condition has backed off in the last couple of weeks. I haven't paid too much attention to it in the last week or week and a half, but I notice it's noticeably down. So I can't ignore the fact that in the 3-month window, I was doing the lion diet, which I don't think it was the lion diet, because I did the lion diet on and off numerous times before. But back then when I was doing it, I was mainly having ground beef from grass-fed, antibiotic-free, hormone-free cows. This time around, it was almost all store-bought ground beef. What's weird about this is it might be the quality of the food I'm getting, or it might be the fact that I went higher fat. The one thing that definitely changed was when I went to this higher fat lion diet. Even though I went down 1 pound in volume, I ended up getting this condition within a couple of weeks, and it stayed the whole rest of the 2 months. The weird thing is 2 weeks later, it's gone. I don't think it's a coincidence. It has something to do with my diet in that 2 weeks. It could also be the exercise, though I have been exercising since the last 2 weeks have started. I have been exercising in the last 2 weeks in this month of July. I haven't been doing quite as much. I am still doing HIIT workouts. HIIT workouts have an effect on growth hormone. Growth hormones are one of the hormones that can be associated with this condition, and it can be some issue with the pituitary gland. But I have noticed I clearly have some sort of hormone imbalance right now, because I'm doing everything right and my weight has basically been maintaining. And really, I should be going down in weight, especially when I went to a higher fat, lower protein diet. my weight should have dropped. I was getting more calories, but I was getting less protein. So I was getting enough protein to build lean mass, but I should have been losing weight on a higher fat diet. Just to be clear, I'm not diagnosing myself, but I do have a clear indication of what direction to go in and what condition I might have when I talk to my doctor. I'll let the doctors diagnose this, but I'm pretty sure I know what this is. It's pretty clear cut. And it was just getting a little worse and worse week after week. Now, the weird thing was I wanted to go up to the 4 pounds of high fat, low protein, because I noticed at the 3 pounds, my hair was thinning. My sleep wasn't as good when I was getting 3 pounds of regular ground beef versus the 4 pounds. And I noticed a little bit of brain fog, but not too much. I'm interested to see what it is that changed in my diet. The fact that I'm getting less grocery store ground beef, is it the fact that I'm eating leaner that's helping? Is it because I'm not doing as many HIIT workouts? I honestly think my diet was a big part of it. But if it is a hormone issue, growth hormone is one of the side effects you get, and it's what you want when you do a HIIT workout. So I want to keep up this cardio I've been doing because it's short, intense cardio. It's designed to build muscle and burn fat. It's designed to balance your hormones and actually help produce more growth hormone. I want growth hormone. I want lean mass. The interesting thing is, if that's going to make something like this worse, then I have to watch that. I have to work out a little differently, right? So I'll see where this takes me. So I'm going to play around with this. I'm going to see how it goes the next time I do the Lion diet. And I'm going to make sure I only have high quality grass-fed ground beef, no antibiotics and no hormones in there at all. And I'm going to see if that makes a difference. And if I get it back, switching to an 80-20, then I know it was the diet. I might even do a month with no HIIT workouts just to see if that was part of the problem. But I've been doing HIIT workouts for a while, so I don't see why it would be a HIIT workout related issue, because I did HIIT workouts a lot from last September to January. Wasn't an issue. So I think it's the food. But anyway, let's see where this goes. I thought you'd be interested. I'm going to tell you all the side effects that happen to me, good and bad, when I do this way of eating. Now, this is a way of eating that gets rid of most health problems. Now, what if there's a problem my body has with a high-fat diet? I have to find a way to work with this. So this is a pretty interesting problem, and it's a pretty rare problem. It's not uncommon. I think that's the best way to put it. It's not rare, but it's not uncommon. I'll let you know in the next few weeks if this lessens that much more and goes away or not. I might even bring my hair much shorter just so I can show you in the video to see like what exactly is happening. Like, just take your hands and push your scalp together, and that's what it seems like. In the next week, I'm going to be publishing a few shorter videos, but more frequently, just so you can see what I do when I travel and stick to a carnivore diet. And you're going to see how I eat when I'm on the road. You're going to see how I eat when I'm at other places. You're going to see how I work out when I'm not at home. And hopefully you'll see that it's actually not that difficult sticking to a carnivore diet when you don't have your regular routine. And going on vacation is not an excuse to go off the carnivore diet. So anyway, I hope you enjoy these videos. They're going to be pretty short, like a minute or two in length most likely. But there's going to be a few of them coming up. So thanks a lot and take care.